Hello or welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing an Italian restaurant style build. I'm actually really excited to do this type of build because I have never built a restaurant before out of like the 3 to 4 years of playing. And usually it's just because I do like cafes or like bakeries because they're more like fun to build. And so I found this inspo photo and I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I think I've mentioned it a few times on my channel. And so I finally got around to building it, and I'm not gonna lie, like this isn't my favorite build ever, but I do quite like how the outside turned out. I kind of wanted to go for this more like Italian, darker type of restaurant vibe. It looks very simple, but I do think it could be a bit of a challenge to do. And I do kind of think my build definitely looks different just because I wasn't able to do like the little intricate details like that. Because I'm still like, I would like to incorporate like decals into my builds and do like cool structurals and stuff like that, but I just don't think I'm advanced enough to do something like that. So I just kind of put my own sort of spin on it. I'm going to talk about, so I also talked about this in another video, that I'm going to an amusement park soon, and I'm actually so excited because I was supposed to go like I think 2 to 3 weeks ago, but it's been so hot where I live, and on top of it being so hot, it's like incredibly humid. Literally, we'll step outside and I'll just like feel like wet because of how humid it is outside, and it's really awful. And so I've just been like inside all day. I think about it sometimes and I'm like, how did like we in like the 90s, even like farther back, how did we deal with like such hot weather? But like also it could be global warming more so affecting it than it was back then. I don't know. Anyways, about the amusement park, I'm really excited to go. I'm actually gonna go with just me and my friends, so it's gonna be us by ourselves, which I think will be fun. A little experience that I had there one time where I was on this ride and it would like swing back and forth, and it's like this huge like boat thing, and so you're like swinging back and forth, like going up into the air. And I was on that ride, and this was I think about like a couple of years ago. It would get to a point where it'd go back and forth enough times, you get high enough, and then it would start to stop. But the thing is that we were on it for like a kind of a while now, and I was like, we're not stopping. And I realized like this thing at the bottom, like you can kind of hear it like try and stop the ride, and it wasn't like stopping the ride, like it was having a hard time stopping it. And so we were going for like a really long time, and like you could hear the person controlling the ride was like kind of freaking out because like it wasn't stopping. And so eventually like it did kind of slow down and stop, but they actually ended up closing the ride after that because I'm pretty sure it like was broken, so they closed it for the rest of the day. It's still up till this day, but it still like scares me because I don't know if you guys saw, but there's this TikTok video going around that's really popular of these people who were on this and they like stuck straight up in the air for like I think 30 minutes or something. And I'm like, one, that's gotta be tough because they could definitely get like sued for something like that, but also I just like imagine how scary that is, just like all the blood rushing to your head and just being like, am I gonna, one, fall off this ride, two, like, am I going to get off this ride? Because that's gonna be so scary, like, oh my gosh. Like, and especially like when I was little, like I remember watching those like top 10 scariest roller coaster experience. Like weirdest things I've heard about was this kid who sat on like the front of a roller coaster, like front seat. He was so excited, and he gets going on the roller coaster and he's going super fast, and all of a sudden a bird like flies at his face, and I'm pretty sure it hurt him pretty bad, and he had to go to the hospital. Very like bizarre things happening. Like I still be going on roller coasters and I still sit on the front seat because I just feel like the chances of that happening are very low. Very once in a lifetime thing happening, but also just like you can't let fear control you in that type of situation. So I still be going on the roller coasters in there. I love roller coasters so much, but our amusement park really doesn't have that many good ones because our park is more so catered to like smaller children. So recently, I think a couple weeks ago, me and my family went on a trip, and we didn't go too far, I think like 4 hours away from us, and it was still like technically in state, like I didn't go out of state. So we went to this Airbnb, and this Airbnb was creepy. Like you walk in there and you're instantly like, there's something going on in here. Like it just felt very like off, and not to mention like there's like a lot of rooms and stuff that were like, don't come in here, trespassing, like this closet in the basement. Oh my god, dude. So the basement, so you walk into this Airbnb and you like look straight down the stairs, there's this thing that's like, don't come down here, do not enter. And I'm like, and it's just like, it's so scary down there because it's just like the dimmest light, there's just like boxes and just junk like all around, and it was creepy down there. Like we didn't go down there, but just like looking down there, you're like, ooh, no thank you. I wouldn't be going down there either way, even if it was locked off. Anyways, there's also like weird, like I don't know why, but there's like a camera in the kitchen for some reason, which like I don't know if that's because like if someone were to go and just like trespass somewhere where they're not supposed to be, if that's like supposed to catch them or something, but a little bit odd that there's like a camera. So there's like a main floor, upstairs, and then the basement, which I already talked about. And the main floor, like, it wasn't like too scary, but the upstairs was creepy. So there's about 8 of us, and then plus others that came later on. So there's in total 10 of us that are staying at this Airbnb. And so 3 of us got there a bit earlier, and then me, my mom and sister and stuff came a little bit later in the night. And so we get there and we're like looking around, and it's a little bit creepy. My sister, she was upstairs and she was in this room, and so we get up there and we're like, hey, and like as soon as I walked into her room that she was staying in, I was like, this is creepy, like this is out of a horror movie. Like the upstairs looked like it was part of the Conjuring house. And not to mention, my sister later pointed out that like the doors, the way that they were, I'll put an image on the screen, they had like an upside down cross on all of the doors, which was just like, on top of this being creepy, also freaked me out. Anyways, I see my sister up there, and she's just sitting there, and I'm like, hey, and she's like, hey, and I'm like, are you gonna sleep up here by yourself? And she's like, yeah, I almost fell asleep. And I'm like, bro, how are you falling asleep up here when it's this scary? Eventually, we all get up there, and when I tell you, like, you're like, okay, it looks a little bit scary, whatever. But like, my mom comes up there, and my mom isn't like really like
skeptical,
but she was like, yeah, maybe we'll take your bed downstairs, because even she was like, okay, this is a bit weird. And the other thing too is she was the only one staying upstairs anyways, and so we ended up moving her bed downstairs with the rest of us, because me and my other sister also were gonna sleep downstairs, which, oh my god, I got the worst sleep in my life, because I was sleeping on this like half couch thing, which it was just so uncomfortable. Oh my gosh, I got like the worst. I didn't even sleep until I finally just slept on the floor, because it was so uncomfortable, because like my legs couldn't fully like sprawl out because it was just like a half couch, and it was awful. But like also I was just like sat there, like, so I like tried to fall asleep for a little bit. I was like, oh, this will be fine. And then like eventually I got to it, and I like couldn't fall asleep for like 2 hours, and I was like, I was gonna just get up, but I was so scared that there was like, I was gonna look behind me and someone was gonna be there, like, and it actually freaked me out. So I just ended up like calling my mom a bunch of times, and she finally was like, help me set up on the floor. But oh my gosh, my sister, she had a dream that first night, and it was scary. Like, low-key, I don't even want to talk about it because it was kind of scary. And she was talking about how like she had this dream that she saw the owner of the house, like the past owner of the house, and she just like imagined him like in the living room where she was like sleeping, just like staring at her. And she had a dream like that both nights that she was there, like just about him. And ooh, like that just saying that right now gives me chills. I don't want to touch on that any more than I have to. Me, middle sister, and then my older sister, we're all 3 sleeping downstairs. First night, not great, didn't sleep very well, and neither did my sister really. Like, after that dream, she just didn't go back to sleep, and also my oldest sister and my other oldest sister, she and her husband were like also didn't sleep very well. I think they were also just very like off. That whole house is just oof. It was like something was sketchy was going on there. Not to mention, outside of this house there's like a bunch of just barns, and one of these barns just had like, it was like full of pigeons for some reason. And also we would like see I don't know if it was a couple or maybe just a man who owned the house, but you would see him and like people like just taking care of the animals at the barn. It was just a little bit off. I'm not gonna lie though, like the outside of this house was very pretty, but when you stepped in it, you were like, this is giving the 1800s. We go out, we do some like hiking and stuff, which also on one of the hikes, there was so many cicadas, and it like you could, the sound it was making, it sounded like a car alarm, which like, I don't even know, bro, because I think like individually they don't really sound like that, but all together it sounded like a car was going off. I can't really fully remember, but I think we just do a couple hikes, and then we go back to the house. So we get back, and the other two people who we're staying with is my brother and his girlfriend, and so they get to the house a little bit later, and so we get them all settled up, and they're staying upstairs, the creepy, not very fun, which also up there, so there was 3 rooms in total, 2 bedrooms, and then just like one like weird closet space, which like it had a sticky note on the door that said no trespassing with a smiley face. So anyways, we get them settled up upstairs, and we set them up like in the day, because usually the first time we went out there it was like nighttime. I think it was like 10 or something. Settled them up there around like earlier, like noon or something. Later that night, like fast forward a little bit, going to bed, and I'm just staying down in the living room with my 3 sisters again, and this time it was me and the middle sister sleeping on the floor, and then my older sister sleeping on the mattress on the floor, which was funny because she's like, I can't believe you guys dragged the mattress down here. I was fine upstairs. And we were like, I told her, I was like, I'm glad we took you downstairs because we didn't want you to have an experience. Anyways, so we sleep. I slept fine. My sister had another, like, creepy dream, and so she ended up waking up. I think she didn't sleep the whole night because she was so scared. I ended up sleeping a bit better. I didn't really have any experiences myself, just like an off vibe the house gave. It wasn't really a feeling, it's just a vibe of the house. I wake up, I get ready for the day, and my brother and his girlfriend come downstairs, and they're talking, and they're like, yeah, last night, like, we were about getting ready to sleep and stuff, and then all of a sudden the door opened. And we were like, what? And we were like, well, did you, like, latch it all the way? Like, what happened? He's like, I'm pretty sure I, like, latched it all the way. And, dude, just, like, just thinking about it, it gives me chills right now, because later, like, we went upstairs and, like, tested the door, like, the doorknob on their room, and, dude, there is no way you're opening this unless you're, like, turning the knob fully. Like, you have to fully, like, turn the knob in order for this door to open. And so I was like, unless, like, maybe he didn't, like, shut it all the way, like, he just, like, but, like, even then you'll, like, realize, because in order to, like, even, like, get it halfway shut, it has to fully, like, latch. And, dude, when I'm telling you, though, like, this thing latches shut. Like, you get it into place, you have to fully turn the knob in order for it to move. Dude, like, thinking about it now makes me want to throw up, because I'm like, there was something in that house. And then they like, were like, yeah, we just slept up with the lights on after that. I'm like, dude, if the door opened, I would not be sleeping up there. Like, I would be going in the living room with all of us. Like, oh my gosh. The door, and my sister having, like, creepy dreams about the house. Oh my gosh. Let me know if you guys have had any experiences like that, and kind of how you, like, dealt with that, because, like, my house isn't really, I don't believe, haunted, or if it has some sort of spirits in it, it's probably people minding their own business type of thing. But I've never really had, like, a paranormal experience like that, like, where it's, like, poltergeist. So, like, let me know if you guys had any experiences like that, and low-key, like, maybe I'll do, like, a video talking about your guys' experiences, like, any scary things, because I am very interested in, like, the paranormal and stuff, because I just find that stuff fascinating. But I also think when paranormal stuff happens, I think some of it is left to be left alone, unless it's coming and bothering you, you know? I think I'm gonna do a little media section at the end of my videos where I talk about a favorite movie, TV show, or a song. Honestly, I still really like Chihiro by Billie Eilish is honestly so good. And for a movie, oh, I went and saw the new Inside Out, and oh, I really liked that. My two older sisters were saying that they didn't really like it because it was a bit cringy, but I really liked it. I think that's just part of the show, especially since it's based on her when she's a bit, in her tween years. I feel like we're all a bit cringy, respectfully. And I really liked it. I won't give any spoilers or anything, but let me know if you guys saw that movie, because I really liked it. I haven't watched the first one. Like, I watched the first one when it first came out, but I haven't watched it ever since. And so I'm probably gonna watch that one again too. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Okay, so this is the final build. The value is 75k. And I honestly think this took me around 3 to 4 hours, which is actually pretty good, because usually it takes me way longer. And I want to know what builds you guys kind of want to see next, because this one's definitely fun for me to do. I kind of want to do more, like, challenge type videos, how I did, like, the starter home build challenge. So comment your guys' ideas, because I'd be curious to know. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!